This is the famous post that we see everywhere. They got y'all good. I read somewhere that the LABUBU doll is associated with the demon Pazuzu, an ancient demon of Mesopotamia and Babylon mythology. So this is a bit interesting because, first of all, I feel like there's a couple of big things worth mentioning, which is that the Pazuzu in this picture is not the actual Pazuzu. This picture just appears to be like AI generated. Like if you look up Pazuzu, this picture has absolutely nothing to do with Pazuzu. It was only created for this LABUBU post. And they have this idea that Pazuzu is this ancient demon that smiles, like a smiling demon, but that's not at all. It has absolutely nothing to do with Pazuzu. So at least that part is wrong. However, more interestingly, before we completely throw Pazuzu to the curb, because of course it does sound a little bit like LABUBU, so you can't blame people for like looking for demons that sounded like LABUBU and coming up with Pazuzu. However, if you read into Pazuzu in a bit more detail, what you'll find that I think is a little bit closer to LABUBU and interesting is that there is this enemy of Pazuzu, this other demon that is called Lamashtu or Lamashtu. So I think that sounds a little bit more scary. Like both Pazuzu and Lamashtu sound a little bit like LABUBU, interestingly enough. But if you read about Lamashtu, the baby snatching Lamashtu was attested as both a subject of and an antagonist to Pazuzu. It is theorized that Pazuzu could have been created specifically as a counter to her. Initially, she existed as an independent demoness with no distinct connection to other demons. Pazuzu, a god or demon, was invoked to protect birthing mothers and infants against Lamashtu's malevolence, usually on amulets and statues. Although Pazuzu was said to be bringer of famine and drought, he was also invoked against evil for protection and against plague, but he was primarily and popularly invoked against his fierce malicious rival Lamashtu. This incantation against Lamashtu shows that he is invoked against the daughter of heaven who twitters babies. This is, to me, just a little bit interesting if we conflate LABUBU instead with Lamashtu and then Pazuzu and have kind of them both conflated with one another, because Lamashtu, if that is representative of LABUBU, these names, man, Pazuzu could be conflated with Zomomo, which I think sounds more similar.